Origin. History. 7,000 years ago, the story of human settlement in Bali begins in southern China. It was a developed society advanced in metalworking, proficient in rice cultivation, and filled with skilled and fearless navigators. By 4,500 years ago, these people reached Taiwan, then Philippines, and finally landed in Bali around 1000 BC. From 400 BC, they settled in Bali's shores where they hunted and fished for their livelihood, constructed shelters, and started their own civilization. Geographical beliefs and legends. The original Bali Aga are said to be from Badlu village. This village has an ancient legend that states that the last king of Pejam, Sri Aji Asura Bambi Mountain, had supernatural powers where he could replace his head without pain. But one day his head was swept away by a river and was hence replaced with a decapitated pig and was named as Dalam Bedulu, or he who changed head. This led to the village being named after him as Badalu village. Genetics. Baliaga people are said to have an 84% Austronesian, 12% Indian, and 2% Melanesian origin.
Agas located in Indonesia, people there are mainly dependent on the agriculture. Because of their tropical region and climate, rice have a very significant role in people's life there. And there's a strong story behind it. There was a goddess named Devi Shri who gave birth to this new crop, rice. When she died, other gods buried her on the land of Bali, and from her grave, rice firstly harvested. After then, people there started harvesting rice. People pay their respect to her by placing a shrink in their rice fields and offering her flowers. Now talking about the tropical region part of Bali Aga, it's an island where people mostly live on high grounds. The climate is humid and it's surrounded by water, so they mostly grow kharif crops. So what are kharif crops? These are the crops which requires a lots of water to harvest, just like rice, cotton, corn and sugarcane. Indonesia is the third world largest producer of rice. Now coming to the cuisine parts, some of their legendary dishes are like betutu, stay, ayam pelela. Mostly their foods revolves around non-veg and rice. They made their food in traditionally way, so some of their dishes even take 8 hours long just to get that traditional desired food flavor. But have you noticed they use leaves for serving rather than plates? But why leaves? So firstly, in a place like Bali, surrounded by trees and all the greenery, it's easier to get fresh leaves and it's cost efficient too. Although they don't have to even wash it after the use, they just use it and throw it. Well, leaves also enhance the overall taste and flavoring of the meal. As we all know, these people are very much connected to their morals, tradition and history. So this is another reason why they use leaves as serving. So that's all in the food part. Now let's go to
Yava, there is no day going by without a ceremony somewhere in which clothes and accessories play a very prominent role in every occasion. There are 3 different types of Balinese traditional clothes with each different functions. Payas Agam is a kind of traditional Balinese clothes with luxurious impression. This type of dress is used especially during the wedding ceremonies. Payas Madaya, this outfit is very flexible and comfortable, which is why this outfit is considered for daily activities. Payas Alit, this type of outfit has very distinctive features. The top color, which is white, usually worn during the worship of the temples. Coming towards the elements, woman has 3 elements, that is kebaya, kemen for the lower body, and a selending belt for keeping garments in place. Coming towards men, they have kemen, a saput covering above the kemen, a selending belt for keeping garments in place, a white shirt, and a udeng, which is a head worn during the worshipping of the temples. Depending on the various types of dances Balinese have, there are different types of clothes worn during these dances. Usually women's and men's both wear a sash for the upper body and a cane for the lower body, along with different kinds of accessories like a headwear and a necklace. Coming towards body, Balinese people believe that human body is not pure and significant. They celebrate the funerary ceremony with great joy and happiness as they believe that they are finally able to return to God. A parade is done with whole village participating as they believe that the god will get angry if not celebrated. With a different type of shaped coffin like cow, bull or lion according to the caste of the deceased belonged to. First, the body is buried and taken out later for cremation, which is done to liberate the soul. After cremation, the body, along with the coffin and the personal belongings of the deceased, is burned, and the ashes of the deceased is dissolved in the sea. The soul of the deceased can either go to hell, heaven, or even become one with God according to the karma determined when they were alive.
If you come to the traditional village of Baliaga, you'll find traditional houses does not have walls. Most traditional houses here have a small door, roof and wooden floor. Shelter. The Baliaga itself means mountain Balinis. They live in the center of Bali. There's a norm in the Baliaga that the holy places should be in the north, Kaza, just like us as we also keep our mandir in the north direction. In Baliaga, houses are in linear pattern and have sharply inclined roof which allows heavy rain to quickly sheet off and provide shade in the heat. Here, everyone is involved in the control and monitoring the village environment as they don't have any door or fences between neighbors. Also, there's a hierarchy between the houses as they practice Olo Apat system, which means elders are at the top or uphill and the younger couples at the downhill. For Baliaga people, community council affairs are very important as they have elongated pavilion where they can discuss. After doing this research, it is believed that the Balinis have a good relationship with each other as their houses are attached with each other. After studying shelter, the non-material component has a great role in material components as there are logic behind the traditional Baliaga houses which are made up of natural materials like wood, teak, bamboo, which are good for environment, and the roofs of the boat houses which are made up of the zinc which absorbs the heat during the day and release it in the night into the
Barong dance is a style of traditional Balinese and Javanese dance from Bali and Java. It is performed for Barong, the king of spirits. It features the battle between Barong and Rangda, which represents the eternal battle between good and evil. Kadong dance, also known as Ligong, is a Balinese dance which is often performed as a preface to Ligong. It's a movement that is very complicated and depicted a servant king. Dance Kechak is a famous dance from Bali area which is performed by dozens of men who sit in a circular motion. It's a dance depicting the story of Ram with 8 soldiers fighting Ravan. Penji Semirang dance is played by a woman that tells a story of a princess camouflaged as a man after her husband's death. Pendant dance is a traditional dance from Bali in which floral offerings are made to purify the temple. It's usually performed by young girls carrying flower petals. The Baliaga tribe also does special handicrafts and play musical instruments as their leisure activities. They make a lot of types of handmade products like wooden masks, hand-woven bags, carvings of wood, etc. They are worldwide famous and are often used as home decors. And lastly, the musical instruments in which Baliaga uses Balinese gamelan and lindik. Lindik is made of bamboos which makes it strong and sounds better.
Balinese beliefs combine both Javanese Hinduism and Buddhism. The calendar of temple ceremonies and festivals is full of events involving unique rituals every month. Many of these rituals involve dance, theatre, and local songs. Many of the rituals of Baliaga are similar to those of Balinese in general, but they do have subtle differences. One of the famous rituals they perform is that of Odalan, that is celebrated on every 2/10th day, and they believe their gods come and visit their village, and therefore a lot of celebrations are planned. Baliaga believe to ensure well-being of spirits as they feel that the spirits are manifestations of Balinese gods. They organize a parade to welcome gods and carry them to the sea for submerging, and this is a common practice in Hinduism too. Another very famous ritual is that of the Makare Kare, where men come together to fight with thorny pandanus leaves to ensure blood flowing out. This is a sign of honor to god Indra. They also take their funerary practices very seriously because their ancestors might get angry if the suitable service is not provided. After researching on the rituals of Bali Yaga, one thing is really sure that they are super sensitive to their rituals and they have huge respect for spirits, gods, and their ancestors. They have deep meaning of their non-material culture. For example, they leave the dead body to decay in open below a magical tree as a sign of respect. And it is believed that the magical tree will stop the corpses from smelling. Another very strong non material component they believe is that if they do not obey their tradition, undesirable things will happen in their life. And I feel this feeling ensures stability in their practices they follow as a part of their material culture.